So if you don't know me, you know, I like Marvel. A lot. I've made a tier list here. I've made a tier list of every single Marvel movie. And before we get into the video, remember to subscribe, like, and comment. What is your favorite Marvel movie? Because I'll express some of my Marvel views in this video. So I have everything here, all the movies, and I have them in order, and I'm going to be going in order. So let's just get into this. The first movie we have is, Iron Man. This came out in 2008. I love this movie. It's one of my favorite movies in the Marvel series, and I'm very nostalgic for it. So I don't want to be like nostalgia bias, you could say. So I'm gonna rate this movie on like what I think it is. I don't think it's like an S tier. Like it's not, mwah, but it's definitely not like B or lower. So I'd say it's a solid A. Okay. The next one is The Incredible Hulk.
What you say? That you only meant well, cause you did. What you say? That it's all for the best, cause it is. What you say?
Bro, get out of my room!
This is the one where they had Edward Norton play the Hulk, and I like Edward Norton, but I don't think he was very, people always say he was very influential in like the script and the movie. Like he made a lot of decisions, and that's why he ended up leaving. I thought he was okay with the Hulk. He wasn't anything like special. I think Mark Ruffalo is a really good Hulk. The story was I remember not really liking this movie as much. So I mean, like, nowhere close to Iron Man, nowhere close to C. I want to give it an F. Would I? Maybe I'll give it a C. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it at C. No, D. Now let's go to Iron Man 2. Nowhere close to Iron Man. The bad guy, I mean, I like the story. I like what they did with War Machine. It was another one of those times when they kind of like swapped out the actor for a different actor. Because in the first one, they had a different guy, and then in this one they had Don Cheadle. And I don't know why they didn't invite him back. The story is actually, it is pretty interesting. The bad guy, he's not like that interesting, but he's kind of interesting in a way. Yeah, so I'm gonna give it a C. I feel like it's good at C. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a C. Now we go to Thor. I didn't really like the Thor movies until Thor Ragnarok. I like what they did with Loki in this one. But there wasn't as much action. That's what I always noticed. There wasn't as much action. But they introduced Hawkeye, which was great. Other than that, I'm gonna put it next to Iron Man 2 as C. Captain America, the First Avenger. I recently saw this, and I was always kind of like annoyed at Captain America ever since Civil War, because he put like Captain America against like Iron Man, and I was always Team Iron Man, and then he won. I was like, no, that's not what happened in the comics. But I recently saw the First Avenger, and I realized how much I love this movie, and so this is gonna have to go in the A tier. Now it's Avengers Assemble, the first Avengers movie. This like had really never been done before, where they've connected like a universe. So perfect villain. They did Loki better in this one than they did him in Thor. It's A or S. You know what? I think I might put him first time in the tier. S. Next one, which will be Iron Man 3. What they did with the Mandarin I didn't like, but recently they came out saying that they're making a a new movie, Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, and that's gonna have the Mandarin in it. So I mean, I don't like what they did with him. The villain was like, and also what I didn't like is they took out his arc reactor. Like, that kind of was the big part with Iron Man. So I'm gonna give it a C as well, and I might actually move Iron Man 2 up to a B. Thor: The Dark World. This is probably like my least favorite Marvel movie, or it's probably like my least favorite Marvel movie. I remember watching this even as like a younger kid, back in 2015. What was I, 10 then? And I just remember like saying, "Oh, this movie is so boring." I was just bored the whole movie. It was meh. Bad villain. There were some stakes, and then it was like bleh. So I'm gonna give it a that.
What you say? Oh, that you only meant well, well, 'cause you did. What you say? That it's all for the best, 'cause it is. What you say? That it's just what we need. You decided this. What you say?
Oh dear. Is she dead?
Next is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Recently, I saw it for the first time. I used to say, this movie looks bad," but I actually found out I really liked this movie. Found out like this is actually a super interesting movie, so I'm gonna have to put it up with the A tier because it's that good. Next is Guardians of the Galaxy. Great movie, like actually though, this is a very good movie. And I'm gonna say this is gonna be a solid A tier. Definitely. The Ronin was a bit, but everything else about it was perfect. The team building, everything. Some people say this is the best Marvel movie. That's what New Rockstars said. You know what? I think this is gonna be another S tier actually.
Oh, yeah.
In the soundtrack, the best soundtrack out of any Marvel movie. Avengers Age of Ultron. This is probably my least favorite Avengers movie. It was so. I mean, it had my favorite superhero in it. They had Quicksilver, but then the X-Men Fox version did like a much better version of him. I mean, I liked it, but I don't know. I feel like they killed him off. I thought Ultron was good. He wasn't perfection, but I mean, this is still a great movie. If you haven't seen it yet, you should watch it. They did all the characters pretty well. So I'm gonna say this is gonna be a solid A tier. The next one is Ant-Man. Ant-Man was a pretty good movie. I liked it a lot actually. It's not an A tier, nor is it a C tier though. So I'm gonna say this is gonna be a solid B tier. The next one is Captain America: Civil War. Even though I got annoyed, like for a lot of this, like that Iron Man didn't win, I would say this is definitely either a B or an A. B, A. Since they introduced Black Panther and Spider-Man, I'm gonna say this is gonna be a solid A tier. And with that, better than, I'm gonna put these in order of Captain America. Out of the A's, I would say Iron Man's the best, Captain America: Civil War, Avengers Age of Ultron, Captain America: The First Avenger, and Captain America: The Winter Soldier. And sorry, these ads keep on popping up and like moving us around. So, Doctor Strange, solid movie. I thought it was a good way to introduce Doctor Strange. So I'm gonna say it wasn't an A. It wasn't an A. But it was an interesting movie. I thought it was like very cool. I think they could have done a better job, and I think that's what they're gonna do in the latest Doctor Strange movie. The next one, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which I bet it's gonna be amazing. But this I don't think will live up to this future version. I'm gonna say this is gonna be a B. It's gonna be, and I'm gonna put these in order in the way I like them. So, like how I did with the A tier. So I'd say like that. So in the B tier, the best would be Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, and then Iron Man 2. The next one is Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 2. Man, did I love this movie. The soundtrack, I would say, might be better than the first one. I felt like the story was not as good, but they had plenty of good scenes. The villain was definitely better than this villain. But it didn't feel exactly like this movie. So I'm gonna put it in an A tier and have it next to Iron Man, because I had such a fun time watching this movie. And I feel like that it's just a perfect movie. Besides like a few minor things. Ego was great in it. Spider-Man Homecoming. So there's always this big thing, what's the best Marvel movie? Some people say it's Guardians, some people say it's Spider-Man Homecoming. This movie is very good. So it's better than all the A tier movies here. It's better than Guardians of the Galaxy. I want to say it's better than Avengers. You know what? I think it might be. Yeah. So I'm going to have it between Avengers and Guardians. He's just a kid, and he's trying to fit in, like in his high school, and it's like he likes this girl, and and then they tied in with like the Vulture, and they did the Vulture perfectly. Like, they couldn't have done him better. So it's an S tier, definitely. Thor Ragnarok. This movie is the movie that made Thor good. Like, you see these Thor movies like Thor and then Thor the Dark World, they're like at the bottom of the tier list. This movie made Thor good. Just the way they did it, like Jeff Goldblum was great. The way that they handled Loki, Hela, the sets were amazing. The storyline was great. This is one of my favorite Marvel movies and my favorite Thor movie, and Taika Waititi did amazing in it. The characters are great. It's just a definite S tier. And I'd say probably even better than Guardians. Now let's go to Black Panther. This is my cousin's favorite Marvel movie. Oh, well, I haven't really talked to her as much about it, but last time we talked about favorite Marvel movies, this was her favorite Marvel movie. I liked it a lot. The Eric Killmonger, or the Golden Jaguar, they kind of merged two villains into one, and I liked it because they didn't really need to have all this stuff. I call him the Golden Jaguar because it was kind of like his final thing, like he was the Golden Jaguar. They did a great job with this movie. Everything about it is great. I wouldn't say it's S tier, but I would say it's a solid A tier, being probably better than Captain America Civil War. It's Avengers Infinity War, and man, ever since 2017, I had been waiting for this movie. It's just, like, it's sad, but it's great. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's a bit rushed. That's why it got like the less, like on a movie standpoint, it was a bit rushed. There were a lot of characters. That's why I got like in the B plus range when it comes to actually critiquing movies. But for a Marvel movie, the amount of like characters, the fights, the battles, people say this is better than Endgame. This right now is gonna be the best movie so far on this tier list. It's just, they did Thanos so well. The way that they did Thanos in this movie, this is why he's the best villain in any Marvel movie. It's because he had a purpose and he was willing to do whatever it took. The next one is going to be Ant-Man and the Wasp. They were saying that you had to watch Ant-Man and the Wasp to know what Endgame would be like. I thought Ghost was interesting. Wasn't Thanos, but interesting. I liked how they made it like a smaller, like they had this big Endgame thing, and then they have like a small thing for Ant-Man, like explain why is he not there. I like what they did with Wasp, so I'm gonna say Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's not A, but I'm gonna put it in B. Yes. So you got Doctor Strange, Ant-Man and the Wasp. I would say Ant-Man and the Wasp. I liked it more than Ant-Man. Captain Marvel. I mean, you could enjoy this movie. Brie Larson in Captain Marvel, in this one, was not the best choice. For the purpose being that Brie Larson, well, she didn't fit the role quite well. She did a lot better in Endgame, but in this one, she didn't fit the role as well as I would have wanted. She's very, like, kind of cocky about, like, oh, I'm Captain Marvel, bang, bang, bang. I'm like, we get it, you're overpowered. But that might, like, be the writing. Yeah, I just, meh. It was a meh movie. It's gonna be a C or D. It's like, meh. Like, when I say meh, I mean meh. I mean meh. I was bored. But, they had some cool scenes, so I'm gonna give it a C. But the worst C. And now, let's go to Avengers Endgame. This movie wraps up this whole story. Right here. It's just the end. And that's why it's called Endgame. But this movie was like the biggest thing for me. And the way that they did it, so much action and so much story all just put into one, and it was the conclusion, and it was it. They did it. And this is why I like it more than Infinity War. I just, I'm gonna actually put it Age of Ultron there, because I like Age of Ultron, and that's why it beat Avatar in the box office, because it's a perfect movie, and they did a great job. The final movie will be Spider-Man: Far From Home. Wasn't as good as Homecoming. The villain, Jake Gyllenhaal, did a great job at Mysterio. I feel like they kind of like hyped up this big thing about like the multiverse, and once that came out, I was like, oh, whoa, and then like towards the end of the movie, spoilers coming up, there are no monsters like Sandman in the beginning, like for the couple seconds. I don't even know if it's Sandman. He's not real. Hydro Man. Why would you make him fake? So, in the pops, you got Hydro Man and Molten Man, right? They call them Hydro Man and Molten Man, but these are not Hydro Man or Molten Man. These are projections of what I wanted to be Hydro Man and Molten Man. It's okay that they did that. I'm just hoping down the line we're gonna see a real Hydro Man and a real Molten Man on it. And if they don't expand on the Earth 616, which they said in the movie, then I'm also gonna be disappointed. But I would say it's a great movie. It's not an S tier, but I would say it's a solid A tier. And that's why I'm gonna put it above Captain America: The Winter Soldier, but in between Civil War. And that's gonna wrap it up for the tier list. If you want to see it, there it is. And that's gonna wrap it up for my Marvel movie tier list. If you want to take a screenshot of this, you can. I really don't care. Hey, see you guys later.